Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. And go ahead, shortly take pause it and read the disclaimer. Sorry, what's going on? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, one action. First of all, this is a recorded that will actually recording. I'm been doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning, and will play tomorrow morning, which you guys will be watching. That's gonna be it's a Friday morning, the December 31st in the morning as a live stream. So if you guys like the video, please like the video. If you guys subscribe, thank you. If you guys not subscribed, please subscribe. The topic I want to talk about here is a very interesting topic. It's a topic that majority people will not dare to talk about it because it's hard to prove. But there's a saying in journalism where it says follow follow the money. And guys, I always ask myself a question. If I see something's happening out there and you cannot solve the mystery, you cannot solve the situation, I ask myself, how would I do it to achieve that result? Like, detectives out there, they ask themselves a question. How would I do it to commit this crime? And a lot of detectives, by doing that, by actually putting themselves in the shoes of a criminal, they are able to crack and solve the case. So I'm going to actually apply that situation, but here not trying to solve a crime. I'm going to try to see how is it possible to steal tips and get away. So I want you guys to actually first say is, if we look at Lexington, if you guys go back and watch my video, lunch delivery on Wednesday, we had this very similar story, or almost identical story, as it was happening on Thursday in St. Louis, as we can see, as Pedro Doordash Santiago was actually doing dash alongs in St. Louis. But I want to actually take a step a little bit further back. Christmas and holiday shopping came to the end. That means Walmart already sent their Christmas shopping helpers away. At least part, and then the rest of the part will actually uh, will be gone on Friday after they complete their shift. Malls have released majority of their Christmas help as well. They're no longer needed, and a lot of other businesses that use Christmas during Christmas shopping season or the holiday season, their extra help, they actually send them home as well on that Christmas night or the Christmas Eve. So a lot of people out there are looking for new work. Some of them went back to dashing, and some of them actually signed up to dash. Just stay with me and kind of, tell me that I am not onto something. Now, when you have a new flow of drivers coming onto a platform, also is the end of the month. The last 3-4 days of the month, end of the month, is when top dashers try to requalify for becoming top dashers in the next month. So you have a new flock of drivers. You have top dashers requalifying, and everything happening this week. because on Sunday they they everybody's going to be requalified. So everything's happening this week from Monday, which let me look at the calendar. So everything's happening between the 27th and the 31st. Also, there's one other thing. DoorDash needs to show some evidence of profit because they're publicly traded company. They cannot keep going negative. They cannot have a more negative month in December than they actually had in November or they had it in August. So the question becomes, how do we tap into the money that actually flowing in through the platform without getting caught, at the same time show our numbers are getting better? So here's actually, I'll tell you how. New people are coming in, top dashers qualification. We can push in certain markets at certain time of the day. We can push $225, 225 delivery out there, and people will take it because that's what people do. The top dashers will qualify, they take the 225. The newbies take the 225. Now, I want to actually give you guys a scenario. Let's say a newbie takes a 225 and drives for 6 miles, and most of the newbies will not throw a fit. The top dashers will not throw a fit. DoorDash already knows about that. But let's say there is a newbie driver that actually does throw a fit with a customer, and like and even records it and puts it on YouTube or whatever. And here's a situation, and a customer comes out, talk to her, which right now most of the customers will not even come out and talk to the driver. But even if the customer comes out and says, "Hey, but I did tip you," and the driver says, "No, you have not." So eventually, because the communication is not properly started with the customer, it has not been properly documented. Customer gonna call DoorDash, and DoorDash gonna respond very simply as this: "Hey, she's new or he's new to the platform. He probably still have not figured out how to read his platform, and they in the background they'll actually add a tip to that particular delivery and blame it off that the driver didn't understand the system properly. That newbie does not know how to do screenshot, does not know he needs to do screenshots and etc. No evidence. See, evidence being manipulated and destroyed. Customer, yeah, it's reasonable she's new. She hasn't probably figured it out. He'll drop it, and it's going to go nowhere. Now, let's say even there is enough of evidence. Where exactly does the driver supposed to turn? If he goes to ABC, Fox, or anybody else of those major networks, they're all in bed with each other. They're not going to go with against each other until certain things happen. They're not going to go try to discover those bones unless those bones in the closet has been already discovered. So they're not going to touch it. Maybe she has a good attorney. Maybe attorney will start digging. The only option that driver has in reality is actually coming to platform like Pedro, like UDN, UDM, those larger platforms, and hopefully these guys will do a video. Then they'll actually reach out to bigger YouTube channels, and those guys will pick up that information and run with it. And then they'll try to reach out to somebody that has 1 million subscribers and actually have them run with the story, And only then, when it reaches certain level of people seeing it, channels like ABC, Fox, and others, the major channels, only they will run with that story. And that's when the attorneys will get involved because they'll actually will have some grounds to work with at that point. So I just run you guys a scenario why DoorDash can do this and not get caught. And then why top dashers I'm sorry, not top dasher, long-term drivers that actually uh, been with the system long enough, we're not taking those 225s to actually go talk with the customer and figure out is there been a stolen tip. Now, let me ask you this question: why I had a fantastic day in Lexington today, but St. Louis had a horrible day, and it was the opposite yesterday? Weren't they maybe working with certain markets yesterday, and then other markets today that they haven't worked yesterday? Because what I watched and seen as Pedro was dashing today is exactly what was happening yesterday with me in the Lexington market. Now, here's how I would actually see this to be done. At the end of the month, lot scam for maybe $6 of up to $6 off of each delivery that has actually a tip of $6 or more. Up to $6 or more. And that's why we've seen a huge increase of the 225 suddenly. Now, if you guys really look at the math, and why is somebody watching that should stream tomorrow? Hey, if you're watching, I really appreciate if you could comment. Let me. Hey, gigs. Hey, how's it going? Um, I guess this video was scheduled for tomorrow morning to stream. I am just right now recording it by using the uh, what is that called? StreamYard. But I'm trying talk about how DoorDash easily can steal tips straight across the whole certain markets, straight across for certain hours, and actually get away with it. So let me get back to where I was at, and you can actually go back and watch it when it becomes available on YouTube. Hey, appreciate it. So let's go back and see. So DoorDash gonna say, let's say we'll take tip up to $6 and give to drivers anything above that in a certain market from a certain time to a certain time. We start seeing an increase of 225s instantly in those markets. Perfect timing of new drivers taking those deliveries, and also drivers that are trying to qualify for top dashers, they're taking those deliveries. And then the rest of the drivers that do not want it, they just decline in it, and nobody actually addressing that with customers because leave it at the door situation. And let's say they only focus on leave it at the door. That means hand it to me. They will not gonna actually touch us. Do that on those deliveries. So certain orders at certain market at certain time. Now, just let me ask you this question: if they did $6 across the country for one day, I'm pretty sure they would collect enough of money across the country to cover about a week of their expenses that actually take away from their profit. I'm talking about, refunding customers for their food that's not customers not satisfied. I'm talking about uh, increased base pay. I'm talking about peak time. All those are major expenses at DoorDash that actually they could in one day they could collect enough of money to cover a week worth. And as I mentioned already in the video, they need to show that they're doing better now than they did in November, because they're publicly traded company than they did in August. But how can they when they're not doing better? Start stealing. That's the only way. And drivers will just ignore it. They'll just write it off. Oh, it was a bad day. And like I already said it in the beginning of the video, so it seems like I'm repeating to you as watching why I had a horrible day yesterday. Majority orders were 225 coming through on my platform in Lexington. Exactly same thing happened in St. Louis. Yeah, in St. Louis today. And as I went through Pedro's comments on his video, I seen quite a few people in quite a few markets say, "Yeah, I had the same situation." So now they had a whole week because top dashers qualifying all week long for about 3 to 5 days to qualify themselves for a top dasher. That means they had a whole week running these things through certain markets, collecting the whole day of stolen money. But at the same time, I can say what's happening, but until we collect enough of evidence by going up with customers and speaking, taking the screenshots on our phones, taking written statements and maybe even video statements from customers, there is nothing we can prove. All it is just assumptions. But ask yourself, if you desperately needed to put yourself in a better financial situation and show off you're doing better in December than you did in November or in August, how would you do it when really company is not doing any better? How would you find those money when tips are coming in and they're coming in end of the year like never before? When is the best time to actually tap into those tips and not let it go to the drivers? If it's not right now, not on Monday, not on Tuesday, not on Wednesday, not on Thursday, and not tomorrow on Friday, which you guys will be watching that's going to be tomorrow morning video, not today. Because on Saturday it's going to be a New Year's. See, we don't need to show great numbers next year. That will come in the end of January. But we do need to show perfect numbers end of this year. And Friday is the last day. This week is the last week of the year. Hey, you guys can call me crazy. You guys can be calling me whatever you guys want. But if I were needed to do something to collect the money, this is how I would do it. This is when I would do it. Perfect timing on all levels. A lot of new people came in on platform because Christmas shopping is over. People were let go. Walmart, they believe the statistic was like 30% of employees, 100% of Christmas employees was released, which is 30% of their employees were released on Christmas Eve. Just Walmart alone. Now go to malls, go to other places. All these places release their Christmas, uh, their holiday shopping employees that were like they hired them to help during the shopping season. They release right now. They're on the road. Guess what? Right now they're competing with you and me for the 225. So there is not any better time than right now to actually take the tips and shove the 225, and people will take it. Guys, I wish I could give you guys a better news. I know on the first and on second, this will stop because they will not risk to continue this and getting caught. That's why they're not doing across the whole country at the same time. That's why they're doing across different markets at different times so they don't get caught. See, they're starting to play smart instead of stupid like they did a couple years back when, they just went across the whole country. Right now, they're playing smarter. but they're still stealing. And there's and that's addition to what Papa John's and everybody else does. Because those are restaurant stealing. This is DoorDash stealing. And I'm not sure is there's much we can do until we start collecting those proofs. So guys that actually have bigger channels, if you guys can see this early enough and spread the news with the drivers, and hopefully some drivers can actually collect these evidence as they go out and they deliver these smaller deliveries and have a chance to speak with those customers where it says leave it at the door, but somehow they have a chance to speak to them because the customer was outside or whatever. If we can collect what we need, screenshot of what DoorDash paid you, so the final screen of completion, and also either a written or video statement from customers stating what they paid, and if they can willing to go into the app and screenshot the tip and actually text it to you, that would be even better. Now we collect that information and we start running on the platforms like Pedro, UDM, providing this evidence, and hopefully this information will get to the right people, will get to the large media, and attorneys will get involved, and we might actually see another payday in addition to our work. So guys, if you guys can get this video to the right people, I really appreciate it, because this video needs to go out. People needs to collect the information because we only have less than 1 day left. Hey, rideshare Lisa, welcome and say thank you to Omar. And guys, those of you guys that missed it, 9:30 Eastern, this video should be up. Guys, I'm probably gonna reschedule and have this other video play immediately, so you guys can have extra time to send this to the larger YouTube channels, so they can actually run with this as well. Guys, be blessed, stay safe, and this is actually the last what? For some of you guys, the last 24 hours. For us here in East Coast, is the last 23 hours left of this year. Hey, let this year be the end of the year be a blessing for every single one of you. Happy New Year for those of you guys that for all of us. And uh, there was something I wanted to say and also step into the new year with new plans, with new goals. So the next year can be a lot better than this year was for you and your family. Blessings to every single one of you. Be blessed.